take it incredibly serious that you really are being called to do something that is amazing. It's such a true opportunity. It's a gift that people are giving to you. Ask them, can I lead you? And what do you need from me to allow me to be your best leader? But ask those questions and be somewhat fearful, and then learn to dance with the fear.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Visionary Leader Podcast with Jim Robinson, and I'm your co-host, Lori Prust.
Dude, we got some cool topics today, man. This is a sweet spot. We're talking about moving people up and what you're going to go through when you do that.
Right.
I think it's a powerful opportunity to learn some cool stuff. What to expect when you start moving people up, what you're going to get from that. Let's do this show today.
Right. So how do you move up? So you go from being a peer, you have teammates, you have people you work with. So what does it look like in the trades if you're going to move up, but you need to keep respect of your team?
Yeah, that's a tough thing. You know, at first, everybody gets behind you because you've been buddies for a while. You've been working together. Everybody gets behind you. They're hooting and hollering, boom, fist bump, high fives. Oh, congratulations. And then all of a sudden, you got to do that manager's work. You got to hold people accountable. And then that's when things start to change. Crazy part is there's two people changing. It's the person that got promoted and the team. The team has very different expectations. They're entitled in some cases. They're, entitled to favoritism. They're entitled to some other things, and they just expect that very organically. Not like they're just setting out saying, "Oh, you owe me a solid" or "You owe me a favor," but they literally just organically think that, well, that's just my peer. He's not really going to be the manager now. Right. Or they, in that level, they call him the boss. Not going to really be my boss. And then all of a sudden he has to hold some accountability, and then it changes a lot. Everything changes instantly. I've had the opportunity to promote a lot of people from field team to management or supervisor, manager to a PM on director roles. We've been through this, and I've had to do a lot of studying to figure out what happens. And so many years ago, I went through that journey of trying to figure it out, because I'd watch these people almost destroy themselves because they got a promotion and their egos get big. And Maxwell talks about levels of leadership. He calls it the 5 levels. You go back to leading at a level 1 because you got to earn everybody's respect again. If you look at Maxwell, I use spiral dynamics, and then people get red, level 3. Level 3, that's a red zone. And that ego gets big, and then you just start being bossy, like, I told you to do this. I said to do this.
Right.
And if they get stuck there, they can end up there the rest of their career. If they grow through it, they can do it in a couple of weeks, or they can do it in a couple of months. That's usually frustrates some people. People will resign, step away. There's an entire journey and an entire process to this. So from peer to leader, it is a very personal thing. Obviously, the promotion is very personal. You want to brag, you want to tell everybody, and then your teams can see it very differently.
I think one of the first things, I'm assuming there's similarities between corporate and the trades and leading and managing, but I've seen some people say, well, I need to know it all, so I've got to answer everything. So I'm now in this role and I need to respond to all the questions and do all of the things. And that's so tough just starting out. It's just
because they do come up with that, and it doesn't matter if you're in the trades or anything. I say, I could go run General Motors. It's just a people skill when you get into management. It doesn't matter if you're knitting, swinging hammers, or running saws, or driving cars. It don't matter. It's based on people skill, and when you get into these early management roles, people do believe, oh man, I got to learn all this stuff. You got to teach me. They didn't teach me enough. I don't know enough. How can I manage this? They go into this meltdown thing, and they do think they're supposed to be all knowing. They haven't learned yet that now you're in a role that requires you to engage more, to get better support. They don't understand that yet. There's a journey to get there. I always describe it when I'm coaching my team. I say, you're starting at a level 1. You were at 5. That's how you can get as the trades guy or that gal. You're back to 1 because now you're a manager. You have 0 clue. And now we're going to show you that you actually got to go to 2, you got to go to 3 to get to 10 now because you're the higher level. So you get 10. And now you got to be able to get there, but you got to figure out how to get to 2. You don't get to jump to 6. It's 1, 2, and it's a pace. And you got to figure that pace. Hopefully your mentor, your leader can help you set that pace so you know how to grow.
What are I'm very curious. What are the signals and the traits that someone's ready? Like you're ready to go from we always talk about individual contributor to someone that's going to be managing people or managing
Yeah.
others. So what does ready look like? If they have to go back to 1, right? You said level 1.
Yeah.
What does it look like? What are the signals?
So that field level, we call it 5 to thrive. So we have 5 categories that we really pay attention to in the field level. Those things are really, how are we serving the buyer, the client? How well are they doing that? And then we say, are you picking up the broom? And we use that metaphorically, of course. Yeah. Do they have initiative? So are they really successful at the 5 to thrive? And is there initiative behind that? So going to 6 when there isn't one. Those people that consistently do that are the ones we sit down with. We're like, hey, can you join me on Tuesday? I want to have a chat with you. Here's what I see. Oh man, that'd be really cool. I'd love to, advance. And that's an opportunity. It's the ones that stay at 4 and, they don't care. They just want to survive. They want to check on Friday. That's great. All teams need those people.
Right.
We need the 8 to 5s. We need those folks to be on the team. If everybody was the president, we wouldn't have any companies. So we've got to make sure that we are taking care of them, helping them be their very best. But it doesn't mean they're going to be managers.
Right. What other things have you seen people do wrong? Like out of the gate, I think I know to know it all. What other things do you see?
Well, they get headstrong right away. Some people, if they're a dominant type of person, they just straight go to I'm the boss. They literally walk that way. They walk differently. They strut themselves around like they are the freaking rooster in the hen house.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, man, it's annoying. And I set them down. I'm like, dude, here's what you're being perceived as. The problem with that is on many fronts, but trust is the first thing you lose. So your team is just not going to trust you. They're going to avoid you. You will see, I wrote a chapter in Consistently Great Performance called In Sickness and in Health. And that chapter describes when people are going to be sick and why, when they're going to call out. And it's the health of the company, not the health of the individual, why people call in sick. And it's the health of the company and how they are being treated in their role. And that person, I'm sick, I'm not going to make it on Monday or Friday or whatever that is. But that's why they get a new boss, B-O-S, as pain in the B-O-S-S. And that's why. And so when they become the boss, they got this big ego that shows up. And until they become really self-aware of what's happening, you got to be others aware what you're doing to them by acting in that way. So then you can start controlling that. But you really got to have a mentor. You got to be able to lead in on that. I did. Everybody that's been in leadership, grew into leadership, they've all had mentors, really effective mentors. The better you are today, the better your mentors were.
So good. I can see the flip side of it. I want to be your friend. We're friends, right? We can stay friends. I don't want you mad at me. Like instead of that, I'm not sure how much you see that in the trades in the way of like personality, but I could see we want to be friends, right? I don't want that conflict in my life. I don't want you mad at me. So, but that can't remain either in that type of relationship.
Yeah, everybody's got to be liked and likable. You got to do what you can to be likable. It's up to them to decide if they're going to like you or not. But you can't be a jerk. And sometimes when you become that new manager, that new leader, that new supervisor, that becomes almost the jerk, at least that's be how they perceive you. And then when they do, you got to make sure you understand that you have to be likable. Today, more than ever, in those roles, you have to be a cheerleader. You have to be their inspiration to have a better day. More today than even 2 years ago. You have to make sure that that's your calling. And then you're enforcing systems and process. You're not there to be their friend. You're just there to be likable. It's their decision to like you or otherwise.
So when you think about like setting expectations and keeping your credibility, how does someone do that? Like how have you seen that done and done well?
Authenticity in what you're asking. And so we just had this conversation yesterday. I had a group of people in,
Hmm.
and I had about 10 in the room, and we're just talking about. They were asking very specifically, how do you address the person that's in the team? Because these were 10 team meetings. They're talking about three different teams, different regions, all present one meeting, and one's not doing well.
Is this for your company or is it another group that came in?
It was another group that came in.
Ah,
And
okay.
so we're talking about their company. They're similar to what we do. They're in multi-states. They do multi-region thing, all different offerings, but it's the same. Teams are teams.
Yep.
And they're one person. I said, well, you address the facts in the meeting. You attack the problem, not the individual. And then after the meeting, you have the one-on-one with the individual. As their manager, their supervisor, their leader, that's the phone call. So here's what I'm recognizing. We can't have that. I'm really, this is really creating a challenge for us. Can I count on you to make this shift? Here's the shift, but that's a one-on-one. And so in the meetings, you address the problem. You also give them the solution to what that is. So you say, here's the identifier. Here's what we're doing to solve this. Team, all good. Yes, everybody understands. Okay, great, ready, break. Now you're calling Mary or Johnny as soon as you get done at me. Hey, Mary, here's a real big challenge. I got to be able to count on you. You need to understand what the challenges are, and this is a yes or no. They inevitably say yes. Now it becomes a check-in and then a closeout. We call it celebratory. You say, I'm going to check in with you on Wednesday. I'm going to celebrate you on Friday. So they're crystal clear on what the expectations are. I need to see this by Wednesday, and we're going to do this together on Friday. It's to send them the gift card. It's the attaboy, attagirl, but you got to have a celebratory event to acknowledge their success and the change. You have to close it. It's like graduating from kindergarten, 6th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 12th grade, bachelor's degree. It's all those celebratory things. There's a reason we do those things. It's the same in business. You have to have a celebratory moment.
I agree with that. I think sometimes we forget. At least I know in our field, like everybody's going fast and we're moving to the next thing. And with AI coming, we're talking about it all the time. And what does it look like? And reminding ourselves that we have to celebrate the small risks we take,
Yeah.
we learn, how we fail. I think sometimes we forget. So it's a great reminder. One of the things you said earlier was key, I think, is self-awareness for anybody that's going into a new role, new leader role. I'm now a new
Yeah.
leader. I have a new hat. I have a new identity. Looks a little different, yet I'm still me. How do you help them understand who they are and how people perceive them? Do you have an approach you're using with your managers?
We do. We use good, great, excellence as a description. We use good, great, excellence. We say, if you're performing good, you're going to be perceived as performing poorly. So you, in your mind, you believe you're doing a good job. Your buyer is going to perceive you as a survivalist and performing poorly. They will leave you very quickly if you're a good performer. Whereas if you're a great performer, you're performing great. You think you're great. Hey, I did a great job on that. Pat me on the back. Whoa. Your buyer is more likely to perceive you as a good performer, not great, right? Our ego see us in the future. People see us in the current and the present. Our ego see us in the future. So our future is I'm great. Of course I'm great. But we're seen in the present. And so our buyers will see us in the present and they'll say it's good. Here's the cool part is what we know about buyers is they don't leave good enough for potentially better. They keep buying good. Think of the hamburger place you go. It's good. You're scared to try that other one because it's good enough. And because I only eat a hamburger once a week or every 2 weeks, it's good enough. I'm going to go there, man. I can get it without pickles. I can do whatever. Boom, that's my thing. It's good enough. But if you find something that is luring you in and you perceive it as great, it's because they're performing internally at an excellent level. That's why we say good, great, excellent. And then I even have a chart here that I say outstanding. And that's Olympian level. That's when you're in the magazines. It's when you're in the books. It's when you're autographing things. It's when people walk by you and know you. That's a very different level. But let's say you're functioning at excellent, like really, truly excellent. Your buyers will see you as great. That's one level lower. That's kind of crazy, but my discovery of that was many years ago. And I use that when I'm training because inevitably we see ourselves always, as I mentioned before, we see ourselves in what our capabilities are. So we're looking at ourselves today and what our capabilities are for tomorrow or next year or 5 years from today. So we just call ourselves great. You'd never get out of bed if you didn't. So you really have to say, well, I am great, man. This is crazy. Look what I did. People will see you as somewhat less. So if you're great, they'll see you as good. If you're just good, survivalists, holy mackerel, they're going to perceive you as poor. You're not going back for the same burger.
How do you teach a new leader that like, how are you teach? I'm listening to you. I almost want you to repeat it again, but do you mind repeating it again? I think it's a good concept. So do you mind doing that? And then I have a question for you about how you help a leader understand how other people see them through this.
I give them hard examples. So I'll show them something that they're dealing with in the moment. And then we'll even ask others. And then we also go farther. So we say good to great to excellent and then outstanding. If you're outstanding, you're not going to be employed anymore. You're running your own company. You are really at a very different level at that point. It's but good, great, excellent. I have poor on there as well. And poor equals 0. And I literally put 0, nada, zilch. And I put that in the 2 categories. So there's 2 columns. And when you write good in line, next line is great. Next line is excellent, both sides. You simply draw the line down to where the performance is. So performance is one side, results is the other side. And then you draw the line for actually what your result is because they're going to tell you what your results are. They're going to say, no, it's a pretty good company. No, that's pretty good. And when you hear that, you're like, wow, we're doing great internally. Like we're just killing it. And the perception of that buyer is they're pretty good company, pretty good company. They'll never see you as exactly the same way. Again, it's because we see ourselves in the future. Good Lord, we would never get out of bed. We have to have that positive feeling as though we are already there so we can keep growing there. It's to give them an A and then we'll grow to get the A. It's literally, you have to have that perception, but the buyer never does. The buyer sees it in a more critical eye and they see it in the present.
Right.
It's very different.
Right. So for your new leader, I think self-awareness is one of the hardest things. So before you can lead anything, I think you need to understand who you are and where you're starting from and what your deficits are. So how have you done that, or how are you seeing it done really well?
Well, we're not going to move anybody unless they are self-aware, so we won't promote up. We need to make sure that we're seeing that, and that's ownership in most cases. That's saying, "Whoa, hey, I screwed this up, or I failed at. Could you help me with?" Have that humble thing. It's humble, hungry, smart is the 3 key ingredients. Humble, hungry, smart. We need them to be smart in their profession, not in all professions, but in their role, their position, and that's going to help them get to the other one. If they're smart at it and they're humble, they're going to ask for help. And if they're hungry, they're going to really ask for help, and they're going to keep going until they get more content. When they're humble, hungry, smart, that's easy. You can start saying, okay, they're pretty self-aware. They're pretty self-aware at that point. Now we're looking to teach them for others aware. And we use all kinds of tools for doing that. DISC is my thing. It's that's what I learned best, or 30 some odd years ago. They say what you learn first, you learn best. Yeah. And so I learned that 35, 38 years ago. And that's really what we use. It's I'm going to tell you how to interpret what people are saying to you. I had a guy send an email the other day saying, I'm a sensitive person and I'm not being understood. Here's an email and putting everybody on notice that I'm not happy. So HR interviewed him, got to the bottom of it. He's got a person that's managing that is Mr. Ego. He's got a very strong, dominant personality.
Sure.
He's like, just figure it out instead of being supportive and helpful. That's not understanding all of how the personalities work. We have to sit down. We have to go back to some training on this. This other kid's personality, I say kid, he's 45. This other guy's personality needs to be understood. If you want to lead them, you need to understand them. And so we got some work to do on this. But so that's how we get focused on it. That we get laser focused on the personality differences, how you speak and how you interpret and understand things. We have a new a dispatcher, and we call them PCs, project coordinators. And so I sat with her the other day. I'm like, so how do you learn? She's crystal clear in how she learns. Like she understood herself, and I'm like, whoa, very self aware. This is cool information to have.
Right. How does she learn? I'm curious.
She says I like to write it down and then implement it. So if you tell me to push button 1, I'm going to ask why. I'll write down it, and then I'm going to push button 1 to see what comes up on button 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she literally gave me the analogy of this. And I'm like, whoa, man, I love that. She's so self-aware. She was able to tell me how to lead her and how to guide her on her journey. Wow. Usually there's a long discovery. She's only been with us for 3 weeks. And I'm like, I'm beyond out of my mind because that's not the normal thing. Like she's super self-aware. That means she's likely dabbling in others aware. So she's understanding how her team, because she has a team of 9 people that she's going to be responsible to
That's
assist
great.
and support, and she literally will understand them. That's a pretty powerful thing.
That's so powerful. So I heard you say something that's so valuable is knowing the people around you and their opinions of you and how you're doing and how you're perceived also in business. So I've got that parallel I heard.
Yeah.
And so self-aware is so important. So without it, it's hard for us to lead. We're going to stumble and fumble.
Yeah.
Without being self-aware.
So is our team.
Yeah. Yes.
Our team's going to stumble more than we will. Much more. Because they're going to feel like they're being infringed on. They're going to feel like they're disenfranchised. They're going to feel like you're a threat in some cases. It could be really elevated. You're just walking around because you're the leader. You're just in blinders on. I just got things to do. I'm going to drive all these results.
Right.
In the meantime, you have, shrapnel. You got people hemorrhaging.
Right. And they're stuck. They're not doing anything, probably because they're feeling, if you don't understand me,
yeah,
I'm stuck now. I can't mentally move forward. I'm not valued. And then it goes from there, right?
Yeah. It's, you got to be others aware. It's critical.
So can you talk a little bit about respect and what it looks like? So you're moving to this position and someone's saying, it's so important to me. They may not say it out loud, but they're thinking, it's so important to me to be respected. What do you think that looks like? So for anybody that might be thinking it, maybe they haven't shared it, they haven't vocalized it, but it's really important. What do you think they should consider? If you're respected well, it looks like?
Yeah. Everything is about trust, right? And some of the people that haven't grown yet haven't figured out the whole trust concept. Like, I got to trust or there's no growth. I can't grow. They can't grow. There's a big trust factor. To be able to have credibility with your team, it requires that you build trust. And you can almost cheat because if you volunteer and then you're vocal about volunteering, so you join a committee, you go to the local shelter, something where you're giving of your time,
right?
It instantly builds credibility in a team, like instantly. Like soon as you talk about it, you're like, dude, you won't believe this. Here's what we did yesterday. And everyone will be like, they'll just be paying attention because they have aspirations of doing it. They just haven't done it yet. So they almost become envious of that leader that just volunteered some time. They're like, whoa, that's so crazy. Trust goes through the roof pretty quickly. And then you can lean in on them. As long as you're being very others aware, you can speak their language. You can engage them. And if you do that, man, the trust can be developed very quickly. If you're slow to do these things, the trust doesn't get gained and it's going to fall apart, relationship. And usually if you promote from within and you're promoting from a 5 or 10 person team, you will lose 1 or 2 of those team members inevitably because they're like, bro, I'm not sticking with this person. I'm out.
Wow.
And then they'll change. If you can have intervention in there, you can literally interrupt some of those patterns. You can save the day and actually keep them grounded and say, we're going to get through this and have the one-on-ones never go single in those meetings. I'll repeat that. Always make sure you sit down with the person that is feeling disenfranchised, disassociated, or a threat with the manager so you don't have hearsay and then they don't embellish. Like, Johnny, sit down a second. We have a challenge here. Mary, let's address this right now. I want to get this all on the table. Let's go. Mary, you had some challenges. Let's talk about those and get them on the table. And 99% of the time, it's resolved in that meeting.
I heard you say a couple things, Jim, too, right in all of that was
Yeah,
lead by example. So take the time and go serve. People are
yeah,
watching. They're watching your character. They're watching what you're doing. I think I also heard you say, be curious. Be curious and listen. Listen.
yeah.
Heard you say that.
The
It,
concept, man.
just listen. Listen for signals and get really curious
Yeah,
about your team. Tell me more. What'd that look like? Instead of always having the answers, I think that always wins. They have the
yeah,
answers. I think our teams have the answers if we
yeah,
listen. So as a new leader, um, I know for me, I'm in a space that I didn't go to school for. I didn't do that. I have really smart people I get to work with every day who have all the solutions. Sometimes it feels vulnerable to say, I really don't know. Tell me
yeah,
what you think about that. I'm going to listen.
yeah,
That can help with respect too. But yeah, I heard you say, lead by example. People are watching, but then
yeah. When
listen.
we close out meetings here, like we just say, "How can I serve you to help you be your best?" That's how I close. I also randomly ask them, "What do I need to change
Mhm.
so they can serve you better?" And they'll give you some
Great.
feedback. They'll give you feedback, and it's I always tell them once you come in the conference room door, when you come in and you sit with me, this should be considered a protected environment. You should be able to tell me anything. We should be able to get elevated here without a threat. This is where we will solve problems, but there's no resolution without elevation. We got to go up if we want to go up. And so we're all going to go up. We may get elevated, but we're going to solve problems today so we can be candid with each other without a threat. I won't feel threatened if you tell me something I need to change or a weakness I have only inside this door. You're 100% protected in this door. So let's go. And
That's the
so
circle of trust.
it's the
Yeah.
circle of trust. It's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
increased trust. And so they know when to do that. When we're outside this office,
Mm.
don't bring that stuff up in public. Don't, they say don't shout it out, shout it up.
Mm.
That means you got to go up if you got challenges, shout it out if you got praises.
Right, right.
It's pretty simple.
I always talk about the meeting after the meeting. Like, don't have the
Yeah,
meeting after the meeting. Have the meeting and the space for people to be honest and
yeah,
transparent and vulnerable on top of the transparency. But that doesn't always happen where people are nervous. So they have a call after the call. When everybody
yeah,
walks out of the room, they're going to have another conversation of something that
yeah,
should have been said in the room, probably that might have been spicy. We always say spicy topics,
yeah.
that's all right. Um, yeah,
It's like, what was that guy, Matthew, that we interviewed
yeah,
on the show? Um, what's his last name?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez?
Hmm.
Yeah, that dude's so cool.
So cool.
And he just gave that little value bomb where don't show up as the fire to put out a fire.
Mm.
And I'm
So
like, man, that resonated really well with me. It's like, don't show up as the fire. So if you show up as the bomb showing up, trying to put out a fire, man, you're a problem. You're
mhm.
not leading anything except a hole that you're digging. And so I don't know. I think that's a cool piece. It stuck with me. I'm using that all the time now. I'm like, don't be the fire. You got to freaking settle down, put some water on it, walk in there, calm down.
Right.
It's literally, we can get more done if we're the sedative versus the friggin' bomb.
Mm. It'll be okay. Let's figure it out, right? Like just
Yeah.
that calm.
It's just a moment, man. It's just a moment in time, and
Yeah.
moment changes. It changes. It's literally a split second. That change.
Yeah. It's your emotional ability. I've been digging in more and more on emotional
Yeah,
side of our intelligence and our ability to remain calm and don't be the fire. Fire's
yeah,
going all around you, but come into that with a plan. Like let's
yeah,
sit, let's listen, right? So I think that's our ability to be emotionally aware of what's happening and stay
yeah.
calm. Yeah.
Just call it emotional maturity, man.
Yeah.
Friggin' do it. Keep
Freaking do
keep practicing. Friggin' just do it.
And that's the growth.
Nike, do it.
I think that's the growth of the emotional self-regulation, right?
That's why they
Uh,
say overnight success takes about 25 years because that stuff isn't in the first 5 years.
no, my man,
There's
no.
such a journey to develop those skills, the
Mm-mm.
wisdom of time, and it takes that. And literally the overnight success, we say it's 20 or 25 years before you start to see fruits of what you've done.
Right.
It's no joke, but there's a maturity involved in that. And you got to grow in. The wisdom has to grow. And then that's when success success, call it what you will, you better put your own meaning to that. But that's when it starts to mature for you.
So what's interesting is like our next question that we have right now is what do you do in the first 30 days? But your point is so big that 30 days is, yes, we can give you some practical things to do and tips, and we should, but you're going to learn and evolve and take it in and grow and then evolve and then learn, right? This is what we're saying. It just takes time and investment. You're not going to arrive in your first 30 days.
Yeah. There's a journey in that first 30 days. For us, we say that they're going to meet individual team members. So if they're leading a team of most of our people lead 10 to 12 people, maybe a little more. If they're really hustling, depends on the region, but it could be 12 or 15. And so we say it's every day you're going to meet with somebody. You're going to have an agenda. You're going to have very clear questions. You're going to be a Q&A thing.
Yep.
How can I serve you best? How do you learn best? Are you auditory, visual, kinesthetic? We ask very specific questions of the team members from the new manager to the team member, and that's just their conversation. No one else is participating. That's just in the first 30 days. So it's just a learning thing in the first 30 days because now you got 10 people and 10 people just told you all different ways to help them get better. Those 10 different ways got to be put in the library book up here. And then you got to be able to turn to that page when you go see Mary or Johnny. You got to go to Johnny's page. You got to Johnny needs this. I got to be able to deliver for Johnny. So first 30 days is really just a learning thing. The feud and the tough part, the challenges, the opportunities start after 30 days. It's not in the first 30. No one's a threat in the first 30 days. Everyone's still happy. Everyone's still fist bumping, chest bumping in the hallways. Bro, that's freaking cool. You got to
until the first rub comes, right?
Until the first rub wrong. And then boom, that's usually after 30, 60 days. And then that's when the challenges rise.
Yeah.
That's when the true leadership's got to show up and show them how to get through that.
So it sounds like first 30 days. I always like to say, be really, really curious. Ask the questions of what is working in your mind, especially if you were a peer. Tell me how things are going here. What do you see that's good? What do you see that really is hard for us? Where do we really struggle? One of the things I've been asked, and I asked too, is how do you like to be recognized? Some people don't want a big streamers and cake and a party. Where I'm virtual at work, but your team members are working together, right, Jim? They're present together. So it's just interesting to ask what their preferences are too. Where I don't like to be the center of attention. And so I would just say a quiet thank you is really great for me. Words are great for me from a leader. That'll be enough. I don't need streamers. I don't need a whatever. So I think just learning about your people is so important.
We do a questionnaire when we onboard somebody. So they're first going through their first week, I think, is when we do this, second week. But we have a questionnaire. What's your favorite color? Where do you go to dinner? What do you like for lunch? We get all those little cheat sheet stuff, man. And it's super easy to say, well, dude, this guy likes, Mexican restaurant down the street. That's super easy. Just go get them a lunch. It's a no-brainer. And be able to win at that. As far as the accolades, everybody, including all your introverts, love public recognition. How do you scale that is the second component to that. Do you have the marching band come out for the introvert and then have the entire... No one's going, right? The introverts is like, bro, I'm out, man. They're crawling under the table. They're like offended. They're probably looking for a new job tomorrow.
Yeah.
But everybody likes to be called out publicly because they want to be publicly recognized by their peers. You got to know how to do that for your introverts. For your extroverts, get the band. You go nuts.
Right.
Get the banging pots and pans, the whistles. I got in my drawer here, like we even do a lot of virtual stuff, but in my drawer, I have the wind up whistles. And so as soon as we call a birthday, we wind it up. I got a cowbell right here. I got a big cowboy. We're in the cowbell.
Cowbell.
I got the whole desk drawer. I got the things, man. And the cowbell is one of them little cute ones, like you put it on a cat.
Oh, that's awesome.
But we ring them and we celebrate everybody. It's their birthday. We give them a paid day off. And it's a big deal. So even your introverts, you still got to publicly recognize them. They don't ever say that's a bad idea, but how you do it publicly
Mhm.
could be. So be
Mhm.
careful, walk lightly on this, but always publicly recognize success stories. It's the success story that we want people to acknowledge. It happens to be attached to Johnny or Mary, but the story itself is what we want to make sure it becomes public. They did this. They put that door in perfect, man. It wasn't unbelievable. It was just walnut door. It just happens to be Mary that did it.
Right.
So we talk about the excellence of the task and it's associated with that person. That's an accolade for an introvert without offense.
Right. Right. So good. Jim, I think we're about up at our 30-day conversation, but this has been awesome. I've loved the back and forth and self-awareness. And do you have a nugget you want to leave anybody with? So any new leaders, as they're trying to lead their teams and earn respect, what's your
Yeah.
value as we head
Look,
out?
I would say when you start first becoming, if it's management or management to true leadership, if you're stepping into that other role where you're really influencing and you're impacting in a profound way, this is life thing. This is a life skill category. If you're really stepping into that category, be slightly fearful of what you're about to go into. And the reason I say that is don't go lightly. Take it incredibly serious that you really are being called to do something that is amazing. It's such a true opportunity. It's a gift that people are giving to you. Ask them, can I lead you? And what do you need from me to allow me to be your best leader? But ask those questions and be somewhat fearful and then learn to dance with the fear.
Hmm.
Use it to serve you. Use that stress as a serve to you. So it will motivate you to be your very best. Arrogance is no place. And if you show up with arrogance, you will offend. If you offend, they will leave. You will not build a team, you will destroy a team. Be careful, tread lightly. You either build them or destroy them. It isn't both.
That's a value bomb. All right.
There you go.
So good to see you. And everybody, thanks for tuning in with us.